When you were 7 years old, someone asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up. Remember that moment? Remember how your eyes lit up? Remember how certain you were? Remember how possible everything felt? What happened to that certainty? Who convinced you that dreaming was dangerous? Who taught you that wanting more was foolish? Who made you believe that staying small was staying safe? Those people are still in your life, still whispering limitations into your possibilities, still laughing at the dreams they helped you forget. But here's what they never told you. That 7-year-old version of yourself, that child who believed anything was possible, that wasn't naive optimism. That was pure truth. That was your soul speaking before the world taught you to doubt, before society programmed you to accept less. You see, children don't know what's impossible until adults teach them. They don't understand limitations until grown-ups explain them. That fearless child you used to be, that person still exists inside you, buried under years of conditioning, silenced by voices that said, "Be realistic." Buried down by the years of Let me tell you something that's going to shake you to your core. The people closest to you might be the very ones holding you back, and you don't even see it coming. I've been studying human psychology for decades. I've seen dreams destroyed not by enemies, but by allies, not by strangers, but by siblings. The most lethal weapon against your abilities isn't hatred, it's disguised as concern. It comes with a hug. Here's what's really happening when your circle laughs at your vision. They're not laughing at your mission. They're protecting themselves from the reflection you're creating of their stagnant life. Your boldness is a flashlight on their cowardice. Your determination exposes their surrender. Your possibilities remind them of everything they abandoned. You think they're being practical? No, they're being terrified. Listen to me carefully. When you share a bold vision and someone immediately explains why it won't succeed, that person is revealing everything about their own barriers, nothing about yours. They're painting their limitations onto your canvas. You want to know the psychology behind this behavior? It's called bucket syndrome. Put a bunch of creatures in a container. One attempts to escape. What do the others do? They drag it back down. Not because they despise that creature, because if that one breaks free, it proves they could have too. And that's a reality they can't face. Your circle does the identical thing, subconsciously, reflexively. They drag you back to their altitude because your elevation threatens their justifications. Here's what you need to grasp about human psychology. Most people exist in a mental comfort zone built on collective limitations. When you're all financially struggling together, it's solidarity. When you're all stuck together, it's connection. But when you decide to break through, you're shattering the unspoken pact to remain mediocre together. They'll say things like, "Remember when David thought he could start that business too?" As if ambition has a deadline, as if courage is something you're supposed to outgrow. They'll remind you of Jessica's failed attempt like it's prophecy about your future. They'll disguise their envy as protection, but here's the harsh reality you need to confront. The people who mock your goals today will be the same people requesting assistance when those goals become achievements. The same ones who said it was unrealistic will claim they always supported you. Memory is selective that way. You're sitting there right now thinking about someone specific, aren't you? Someone who smirked when you shared your vision. Someone who changed topics when you discussed your goals. Someone who made you feel naive for wanting more. That recognition you're experiencing right now, that identification, that's your instinct telling you something your heart doesn't want to acknowledge. Some people in your life are energy parasites. They survive by keeping you contained. They require you to stay where you are so they can feel acceptable about where they're trapped. Let me explain the psychology of goal assassins. They operate in predictable patterns. First, they minimize. That's a cute idea. They reduce your vision to something harmless and insignificant. Then they catastrophize. Do you realize how many people attempt that? They bombard you with statistics about other people's failures, as if other people's data has anything to do with your destiny. Then comes the emotional warfare. We're just protecting you. We don't want to see you disappointed. Love disguised as limitation, care wrapped in constraints. But here's what they're actually communicating. Your success terrifies us. Your bravery highlights our timidity. Your vision reminds us of our abandoned capabilities. So please, stay contained with us. Stay secure with us. You think I'm being severe? You think I'm telling you to abandon people who care about you? No. I'm telling you to distinguish between love and fear. Authentic love supports your expansion, even when it's frightening. Genuine love celebrates your goals, even when they don't comprehend them. Fear says, be practical. Fear says, maybe someday. Fear says, people from our background don't attempt things like that. You want to know the most toxic phrase in human language? People from our background. Because it immediately confines you in a container. It defines your boundaries before you even attempt. It makes your past your prison, your history your ceiling. But you're not people from our background. You're you, with your unique combination of experiences, abilities, and resolve. You're not bound by what people from your zip code usually accomplish. You're not limited by what your relatives have always done. You're not restricted by what your friends consider possible. The moment you accept people from our background thinking, you've already surrendered. You've agreed to let other people's imagination establish the boundaries for your reality. Here's what high achievers understand that others miss. Your environment shapes your expectations. If everyone around you thinks limited, you'll start thinking limited. If everyone around you creates justifications, you'll start creating justifications. If everyone around you has surrendered their goals, they'll pressure you to surrender yours. It's not personal, it's psychological. Misery doesn't just love company, it demands it. You know what happens when you start achieving beyond your peer group's comfort threshold? The jokes become sharper. The criticism becomes harsher. The sabotage becomes more calculated. They'll start questioning your character instead of celebrating your achievement. Success is changing you. You think you're superior now. And you know what? Maybe success is transforming you. Maybe you are becoming superior. Maybe that's the objective. Growth requires you to outgrow. Elevation demands that you leave some elements behind, including some people. And that's not harsh, that's natural, that's essential. Observe nature. The butterfly doesn't remain in the caterpillar's social circle. The eagle doesn't soar with pigeons. Each creature discovers its appropriate environment for its abilities to flourish. But humans, we feel guilty about outgrowing our circumstances. We feel regret about wanting more than the people around us. We apologize for our ambition. We minimize our aspirations to make others comfortable with their boundaries. Stop it right now. Stop making yourself smaller to fit into spaces you've outgrown. Stop dimming your light so others don't feel darkness. You think you owe it to people to stay where they're comfortable? You think loyalty means limiting yourself to their level? That's not loyalty. That's self-betrayal. That's potential suicide. Real loyalty to the people you care about means becoming the best version of yourself. It means showing them what's possible, even if they can't appreciate it yet. But here's the psychological trap most people fall into. They confuse enabling with love. They think protecting people from seeing what they could become is kindness. It's not. It's fear masquerading as love. It's weakness disguised as wisdom. You want to know what real love looks like? Real love says, I don't understand your vision, but I see the fire in your eyes when you talk about it. I see how alive you become when you're working toward it. So I'm going to support you, even if I can't see what you see. That's love. Everything else is fear. And here's the truth nobody wants to admit. The people who discourage your dreams aren't protecting you from failure. They're protecting themselves from the possibility that you might succeed where they didn't try. They're not worried about you falling, they're terrified of you flying. When you break through barriers they said were unbreakable, you expose their choice to stay trapped. When you achieve what they claimed was impossible, you reveal their decision to give up. When you refuse to accept their reality, you force them to face what they could have been. Now, I'm not telling you to become arrogant. I'm not telling you to look down on people. I'm telling you to look up to your capabilities. I'm telling you to respect your vision enough to protect them from people who don't understand their value. Your vision is not entertainment for other people's amusement. It's not open for committee approval. It's not subject to popular vote. It's yours. And you have a responsibility to protect it like you would protect a child, because that's what vision is. It's your abilities in embryonic form. It's your tomorrow trying to communicate with your present. It's your soul showing you what you're capable of becoming. When someone laughs at your vision, they're laughing at your unborn tomorrow. They're mocking your unrealized abilities. They're dismissing the person you're meant to become. And you're going to let them do that? You're going to give them that power over your destiny? Here's what I want you to understand about the people who support your vision versus the people who mock them. The supporters see possibility where others see problems. They see talent where others see obstacles. They see your tomorrow where others only see your past. Those are your people. Those are the ones who deserve access to your goals. Those are the ones who've earned the right to be part of your journey. But the mockers, the laughers, the ones who immediately tell you why it won't work, they're telling you everything you need to know about their character. They're showing you that they're not equipped to handle your success. They're revealing that they can't celebrate what they can't achieve. And that's not your problem to fix. That's not your responsibility to manage. That's their limitation to overcome or accept. You think I'm being cold? You think I'm lacking compassion? Let me tell you what's truly cold. What's truly lacking in compassion. Allowing people to keep you small because they're afraid of your bigness. Staying stuck because other people are comfortable with their stuckness. Sacrificing your potential on the altar of other people's insecurities. That's not love. That's not loyalty. That's self-destruction disguised as virtue. You have a choice to make right now, and it's the most important choice you'll ever make. You can stay in environments that minimize your vision. You can surround yourself with people who think small and expect you to think small too. You can continue to seek approval from people who are threatened by your ambition, or you can make the difficult but necessary decision to protect your goals by being selective about who gets access to them. You can choose to surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow instead of pressure you to shrink. You can find your tribe of dreamers and doers and believers, but you can't do both. You can't plant seeds in fertile soil and toxic soil and expect the same results. You can't expose your goals to people who kill goals and expect them to flourish. You can't feed your abilities negativity and expect them to grow into something positive. The environment you choose determines the outcome you get. The people you surround yourself with become the limits or the launching pad for your capabilities. Choose carefully, choose wisely, choose with your future in mind, not your comfort in the present. Because here's what's going to happen when you start protecting your goals from goal killers. You're going to feel isolated at first. You're going to question whether you're making the right decision. You're going to miss the familiarity of people who understood your limitations but not your capabilities. That isolation, that's not a sign you're making a mistake. That's the space being created for better people to enter your life. That's the universe clearing out the wrong influences to make room for the right ones. You see, when you raise your standards for the people you allow in your life, you automatically attract people who meet those standards. When you stop accepting goal killers in your circle, you create space for goal builders. When you stop tolerating people who diminish your vision, you make room for people who expand it. But you have to be willing to walk through the temporary discomfort of separation to get to the permanent comfort of the right association. Most people aren't willing to do that. Most people would rather stay comfortable with the wrong people than be temporarily uncomfortable finding the right people. Most people choose familiar dysfunction over unfamiliar possibility. Don't be most people. You know what the most successful people in the world have in common? They're extremely selective about who they allow in their inner circle. They understand that your associations determine your objectives. They know that you become like the people you spend the most time with. They protect their mental and emotional environment like their life depends on it, because it does. Your goals are not just fantasies, they're prophecies. They're your abilities trying to manifest through your actions. They're your tomorrow self communicating with your present self about what's possible. When you let people mock your goals, you're not just letting them mock your imagination, you're letting them mock your destiny. You're allowing them to plant doubt in the garden where your tomorrow is supposed to grow. And doubt is like a weed. If you don't pull it out immediately, it spreads, it chokes out possibility, it kills talent before it has a chance to bloom. You can't afford to let people plant doubt in your mind about what you're capable of achieving. You can't afford to give anyone that kind of power over your tomorrow. You can't afford to let other people's limitations become your reality. Here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to think about the people in your life who consistently respond to your goals with skepticism, mockery, or discouragement. Write their names down if you have to. Look at that list. Those are the people who are stealing your capabilities one conversation at a time. Now I want you to think about the people who light up when you share your vision, the ones who ask questions about your objectives instead of immediately pointing out problems, the ones who offer support instead of statistics about failure, the ones who see possibility where others see problems. That second list, those are your people. Those are the ones who deserve your energy, your time, your goals. Those are the ones who are adding to your abilities instead of subtracting from them. The first list, it's time to love them from a distance. It's time to protect your vision from their disbelief. It's time to stop giving them access to the most precious parts of your inner world. This isn't about being mean. This isn't about cutting people off out of anger. This is about being strategic with your energy. This is about understanding that your mental and emotional environment directly impacts your ability to achieve your objectives. You wouldn't plant a garden in toxic soil and expect healthy plants. Don't plant your goals in toxic relationships and expect healthy results. Some of you are thinking, but these are my family members. These are my oldest friends. I can't just cut them off. And I understand that. Family and old friends occupy special places in our hearts. But here's what you need to understand. You can love people and still protect yourself from their negativity. You can care about people and still limit their access to your vision. Love doesn't mean accepting toxic behavior. Loyalty doesn't mean enabling destructive patterns. You can maintain relationships while setting boundaries about what you will and won't discuss with certain people. Stop sharing your goals with people who consistently crush them. Stop seeking validation from people who are threatened by your success. Stop trying to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding your vision. Save your objectives for people who water them, not for people who try to drown them. And here's something else you need to understand. The people who laugh at your goals today will try to take credit for your success tomorrow. The ones who said it was impossible will claim they always knew you could do it. The ones who tried to talk you out of trying will say they were just testing your commitment. Don't let them rewrite history. Don't let them back into your life just because you succeeded despite their discouragement. Remember who was there in the darkness when you needed support. Remember who believed in you when you barely believed in yourself. Remember who watered your goals when everyone else was trying to kill them. Those are the people who deserve to celebrate with you. Those are the people who earn the right to share in your success. The goal killers, They don't get to become goal sharers just because the objectives came true. Success has a funny way of attracting people who weren't there during the struggle. Victory brings out supporters who were silent during the battle. Achievement draws crowds who were absent during the work. Be selective about who you allow to celebrate with you. Be protective of who gets to benefit from what you built. Be careful not to give access to people who didn't earn it through their support during your journey. Think about Kobe Bryant. You think he kept the same circle when he became one of the greatest basketball players of all time? Think about Oprah Winfrey. You think she maintained relationships with people who laughed at her television goals when she was struggling in Chicago? Think about Elon Musk. You think he surrounded himself with people who told him electric cars would never work? These individuals understood something fundamental. Your circle determines your ceiling. Your associations determine your achievements. Your environment determines your elevation. They made the hard choices. They protected their goals from goal assassins. They chose their future over their comfort. They chose their possibilities over other people's opinions. And that's exactly what you need to do. This is your life. These are your goals. This is your talent. You get to decide who deserves access to these precious parts of your existence. You get to choose who earns the right to influence your thinking. You get to determine who gets to speak into your tomorrow. Make those choices consciously, make them strategically, make them with your success in mind, not other people's comfort. Because at the end of your life, you won't regret the goals you chased that didn't work out. You'll regret the goals you never chased because you let other people talk you out of them. You'll regret the capabilities you never explored because you stayed in environments that kept you small. You'll regret the person you never became because you were too afraid to outgrow the people around you. Don't let that be your story. Don't let other people's limitations become your legacy. Don't let fear, disguised as love, keep you from becoming everything you're capable of being. Your goals matter, your talent matters, your tomorrow matters. And anyone who can't see that, anyone who laughs at that, anyone who tries to diminish that doesn't deserve access to the most important parts of your life. Cut them off, not out of anger, but out of love for your own capabilities. Not out of hatred, but out of respect for your goals. Not out of cruelty, but out of commitment to your growth. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your chance to choose your tomorrow over your past, your talent over your comfort, your goals over other people's doubts. Choose wisely, choose courageously. Choose with the understanding that the people you surround yourself with today will determine the person you become tomorrow. And if your friends laugh when you dream, cut them off. Your tomorrow self will thank you for protecting the goals that become your reality. But here's the final truth I need you to understand. This choice you're making, this decision to protect your vision from vision killers, it's not just about your success. It's about your legacy. It's about becoming the person you needed when you were struggling. Every time you choose your dreams over their doubts, you give someone else permission to do the same. Every time you refuse to shrink for their comfort, you show another person that expansion is possible. Every time you protect your vision, you become a lighthouse for someone else, lost in other people's limitations. Your breakthrough isn't just for you. It's for everyone who needs proof that the impossible is just the untried. Everyone who needs evidence that dreams don't have expiration dates. The decision is yours. The power is yours. The tomorrow is yours. What are you going to do with it? Your ability to achieve your goals. You wouldn't plant a garden in toxic soil and expect healthy plants. Don't plant your dreams in toxic relationships and expect healthy results. Some of you are thinking, but these are my family members. These are my oldest friends. I can't just cut them off. And I understand that. Family and old friends occupy special places in our hearts. But here's what you need to understand. You can love people and still protect yourself from their negativity. You can care about people and still limit their access to your dreams. Love doesn't mean accepting toxic behavior. Loyalty doesn't mean enabling destructive patterns. You can maintain relationships while setting boundaries about what you will and won't discuss with certain people. Stop sharing your dreams with people who consistently crush them. Stop seeking validation from people who are threatened by your success. Stop trying to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding your vision. Save your dreams for people who water them, not for people who try to drown them. And here's something else you need to understand. The people who laugh at your dreams today will try to take credit for your success tomorrow. The ones who said it was impossible will claim they always knew you could do it. The ones who tried to talk you out of trying will say they were just testing your commitment. Don't let them rewrite history. Don't let them back into your life just because you succeeded despite their discouragement. Remember who was there in the dark when you needed support. Remember who believed in you when you barely believed in yourself. Remember who watered your dreams when everyone else was trying to kill them. Those are the people who deserve to celebrate with you. Those are the people who earn the right to share in your success. The dream killers, they don't get to become dream sharers just because the dreams came true. Success has a funny way of attracting people who weren't there during the struggle. Victory brings out supporters who were silent during the battle. Achievement draws crowds who were absent during the work. Be selective about who you allow to celebrate with you. Be protective of who gets to benefit from what you built. Be careful not to give access to people who didn't earn it through their support during your journey. This is your life. These are your dreams. This is your potential. You get to decide who deserves access to these precious parts of your existence. You get to choose who earns the right to influence your thinking. You get to determine who gets to speak into your future. Make those choices consciously. Make them strategically. Make them with your success in mind, not other people's comfort. Because at the end of your life, you won't regret the dreams you chased that didn't work out. You'll regret the dreams you never chased because you let other people talk you out of them. You'll regret the potential you never explored because you stayed in environments that kept you small. You'll regret the person you never became because you were too afraid to outgrow the people around you. Don't let that be your story. Don't let other people's limitations become your legacy. Don't let fear disguised as love keep you from becoming everything you're capable of being. Your dreams matter. Your potential matters. Your future matters. And anyone who can't see that, anyone who laughs at that, anyone who tries to diminish that doesn't deserve access to the most important parts of your life. Cut them off. Not out of anger, but out of love for your own potential. Not out of hatred, but out of respect for your dreams. Not out of cruelty, but out of commitment to your growth. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your chance to choose your future over your past, your potential over your comfort, your dreams over other people's doubts. Choose wisely, choose courageously, choose with the understanding that the people you surround yourself with today will determine the person you become tomorrow. And if your friends laugh when you dream, cut them off. Your future self will thank you for protecting the dreams that become your reality.